Who am I? I'm going to hope Commissioner Baker comes back in.
Nick, excuse me, Nick. I had a message on my end that said that turning on the recording would
that would probably help.
Baker. So hopefully she can come back in. Oh, okay. She's back in. Okay, that's
okay. Good. She's great. All right, we've got quorum. We're recording.
Call was dropped.
No worries at all. We're gonna make it all work. So, any discussion on the minutes from last month? I'm presuming everybody has had a chance to review them. Failing that, does anybody need time to go over them? Okay, do we have... All right, let's call the question, seeing that there's no discussion. We have a motion on the table to approve the minutes as presented. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed have the same right. Are there any abstentions? Okay, hearing none, the minutes are approved. Okay. Comments and soul check. Lord knows I could say an awful lot about current events and sort of living in the DEI space. Yeah, I have concerns. I have lots of increasing anxieties about a lot of things. But the bottom line, the work has to continue. We are here. We've been on this journey doing this work for the better part of 6 years now. We are hurtling towards its conclusion. As I like to say, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not an oncoming train. So I think we are in very good shape, and we still have an awful lot to say and a lot to do. And I think now more than ever, we need to be that clarion call that's going to hold not only Maryland, but ultimately and indirectly this nation accountable for its sins of the past, if you will. So yeah, oftentimes you're just thinking about that spiritually, been in the storm so long, but yeah, we got to keep at it. And that's kind of where my feeling is. We got to keep fighting, and not just resisting, but creating those spaces where truth is valued and truth can be heard. Because as the Maryland Lynching Memorial Project, quoting EJI says, truth first. Truth has to come first. It's sequential. There is no reconciliation. There is no end to this without first recognizing it. And again, I could go on and on, but I'm just going to stop there and ask if anybody else would like to share thoughts, comments, criticisms, anxieties.
I echo what you just said, and I think the feeling that consumes me most in this moment, I feel invigorated. I feel like there's been a small group of people consistently calling for justice in this country, and I think the vast majority of Americans of all backgrounds were unaware of why our calls for justice were still relevant and still pressing, and could go about their lives without seeing how it related to them. And I think that this moment that we're in has clarified that for so many communities. And I see a positive future where we come together as Americans to stand up for our values and cry for justice together. And so I am invigorated by this moment and the potential that it holds.
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Millen.
Yeah, potentially a through line and a little bit different. I want to appreciate Trish and also Sophie for going to the House, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, to read the statement into the record for proposed House Bill 1422, Maryland Reparations Commission proposal. I think that speaks to the through line that this commission in particular can serve. The work is not done. This is something we've told our communities and our partners. So it's to continue the conversation, to continue the work, recognize that we are but a moment in time, but it is a moving moment. It's active and activating. So, Trish and Sophie, thank you for taking time, working that into your workday, and for representing all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Other thoughts?
I would say I think it's very interesting and also very worthwhile the byproduct of the boycotts, which is the 1-day boycott, and even right now we're beginning the 1-week boycott, is to sort of search yourself, search your communities to see where are the smaller stores, before there were Walmarts and Targets and those megas that are out there, where were the mom and pop stores that we would go to get our groceries or get somebody to do whatever types of day-by-day things, which we now go to larger stores to get, like for pharmacies that are inside of these megalopolises. That's going to be a byproduct of what these efforts are that will probably stick to some degree and hopefully necessitate some of these agencies which have decided to, for fear, for practicality, whatever, abandon their DEI practices, perhaps to go back to them, or to realize that it is effective in a negative way if you just allow other oligarchs or oligarchy to take over everything that you do. That the public is now reminded that they have the power of the purse to affect change or to influence change.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, as I'm thinking about where I do my shopping, it's like, oh man, I'm gonna have to go and get a membership at Costco at this point. But thank you, Commissioner Haley. Others? Other thoughts? Okay, hearing none. Let's move on to committee reports, and this is where I start getting excited. I guess, well, you know what? I am just going to start with Reconciliation Committee, and I'm going to ask Commissioner Coles to share updates, that we discussed on Friday at the Reconciliation Committee, because she has been spearheading the work of preparing for our final public hearing, April 4th and April 5th at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum. So, Commissioner Coles, put you on the spot.
Hi, everybody. We are so excited and have been working so hard for so long to bring this institutional accountability and reconciliation hearing to the state of Maryland. It is taking place, as you guys all know, on April 4th and 5th in Baltimore at the Reginald Lewis Museum. We have gotten a large number of acceptances from the expert witnesses that we invited to testify. And we have, at this point, 7 different panels taking place over Friday and Saturday. And so I will walk you guys through those, try to do it quickly. Let me see, I'm pulling up the run of show. Okay, so on Friday, that is primarily our institutional accountability day. And we have, as our special guest, Attorney General Anthony Brown is going to address the hearing. And then we have the first panel, which is criminal justice reform, talking to people that work for the state of Maryland. And so we'll hear from Colonel Butler, and he's the chair of the Maryland Police Training and Standards Commission. And he's also a superintendent in the Department of State Police. And we'll hear from Charlton Howard, who's the state prosecutor. The next panel, I actually might end up combining these two panels. But the next panel right now is still on criminal justice reform, but it's offering perspectives from people that are not a part of the state of Maryland's law enforcement agencies. And so there we'll hear from Rochelle Brackney, who's a former chief of police, Tanya McClary, who's an expert on police practices, as well as Chaz Arnett, who's a professor at the University of Maryland Baltimore School of Law, and also an expert on police reform. Then we have a panel on news and media and the role that they have played in contributing to the environment where African Americans were lynched. And there we will hear from Stacy Patton and E.R. Shipp, both professors at Morgan State, as well as Dr. Tony Draper, who is the head of African American newspapers. And recently we got an acceptance from Armstrong Williams, who's one of the owners of the Baltimore Sun. Then we have a panel on social and emotional well-being and the type of community resources and healing resources that may need to be offered to account for this history. And so there we have experts Cheryl Grills and Joanne Braxton. So that is on day one, going roughly from 9 a.m. to at latest 4 p.m., but it might end a little earlier than that. On day two, we have a panel on people who are experts in reparations. We have a woman named Matiange Sirleaf, who's a professor at University of Maryland, Baltimore, and she has an international a focus on like international reparations. Marcus Anthony Hunter, who's a professor, Dreesen Heath, who is an expert in this area, as well as Joel Edward Goza, who's the author of a book called Rebirth of a Nation, focused on reparations, and William Darity, who is, one of the foremost experts in reparations, has expressed an interest to attend, but he cannot be here in person. So we're looking at having him be one of the few people that live stream into the hearing. Then we're going to have a panel on legal experts. And that will include Professor Justin David Hansford, who runs the Civil Rights Clinic at Howard Law, Sherilyn Eiffel, who is also a Howard Law professor and former head of NAACP LDF, and also wrote a book on lynching called On the Courthouse Lawn. Adjoa Aitoro, who's the chief legal counsel for the National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America, and Demetria McCain, who is a representative of she's the policy counsel at NAACP LDF. So she's representing LDF. And then we are going to have another panel to hear from about broader community perspectives on what this reconciliation should look like. And so we have Yvette Carnell, who's a co-founder of ADOS, which is African Descendants of Slavery, and Candace Handy with a Baltimore organization called A Beautiful Struggle. And we also have Brett Tyler. I'll see if it's either going to be Brett or Donna, but from Heritage Associates, that are going to talk about some of the challenges that is unique to African Americans in tracing our genealogy, and how that denial of ability for us to know about our history could be a part of the reconciliation that we seek. We are going to have food trucks on site at the Reginald Lewis Museum both days. And I'm trying to think if that's about everything. We need all of you guys' help in advertising this event. We should have a flyer prepared pretty soon that we should all start disseminating on social media and getting the word out. Nick and I are doing an interview tomorrow with, was it the Afro?
I do believe so. Yes.
Yeah, with the Afro newspaper. Yes. Okay. And so, hopefully there'll be more news coverage of this, hopefully as those press releases go out and people understand the significance of this hearing. and what it means for Maryland and the nation. I hope that there'll be national news coverage. I remember a couple of months ago, there was a New York Times reporter who was interested in covering one of our local hearings. And so, hopefully we're reaching back out to them and just making sure that, we have the attention that this hearing deserves so that the state of Maryland can be behind us as we're pushing our recommendations forward to the state legislature.
Great, thank you. And I'll just share, sort of the potential, I was at a conference I guess now the week before last now, since we're a week out, at Mills College, sponsored by the Northeastern University Law School Center for Law, Equity, and Race. And one of the leaders there, Margaret Burnham, is good friends with Angela Davis, who just showed up on the second day of the conference. And well, I just kind of got over my, awkward Black nerd and fanboying out and just asked her if she'd be willing to participate, and she gave me her email address and said send an invitation, and hopefully her manager is going to put this on her calendar. But yes, we have an invitation out to the Dr. Angela Davis, and so we're hoping that she will be able to join us. With that, Yes.
Can I say something else that I forgot to mention? If the commissioners could, and I know Trish, I'm sure you're going to send out that email asking everyone who's attending, but please let Trish know if you are planning to attend this hearing, whether you're planning to attend both days or one days. And if any of the panels that I just mentioned, if you have a particular area of expertise in that topic, could you please reach out to me, because we are planning to have commissioners serve as the moderator for each of the panels. I'm planning, I'm a civil rights attorney. I'm planning to moderate the legal experts panel. Nick is planning to moderate the reparations, more broad reparations panel. But if anyone has a background in news media, journalism, or if anyone has a background in social, mental, emotional health, that type of psychology type stuff, please let me know, because we do still need moderators for those panels. I also have a background in law enforcement accountability, so I feel comfortable moderating that one as well. But speak up if you have an expertise that would make you a particularly good moderator for one of the panels I mentioned.
Okay, thank you. And Commissioner Baker, you raised your hand.
Yeah, but then I looked at this everybody on the Google Meet and I was like, who am I? I was thinking for the one about research, but then I saw Chris and I saw Amy and I was like, oh, we have better people, so I'm going to be quiet.
Don't sell yourself short.
Not better people, just other people. That's what it is.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. As Basil Davidson, titled the first episode of his multi-series History of Africa, Different but Equal. Okay, are there other questions or comments for Commissioner Coles?
I have an unrelated thing that I just wanted to mention. Just call you out a little bit, Commissioner Coles. Every time I opened my Libby app to read something for the month of February, I was greeted by your picture and a whole bunch of information about the book you wrote and the ways to engage with it. So just wanted to say congratulations for that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I had a great event at Calvert Library. I think it was last week, and it was really awesome. And it was like streamed to the whole state of Maryland. So yeah, it's on YouTube now if any of you guys want to check it out. But thanks for your support, Lindsay.
I just want to add to that congratulations to Commissioner Coles and Nick to a degree too, because you guys are really pushing to try to get the Baltimore Sun involved in some way. And I certainly was not one who was like, oh gosh, subpoena, this, that, and the others. They were pushing them, they'll hate us, of this and the other. And you got it done. You got it done. So bravo for getting that across.
Well,
we'll see if they show up. But I mean, the fact
as I said,
yes.
As they say, be careful what you wish for. You might get it.
Yes, no, I definitely, when I saw that email, I was like, they folded. Robert, I saw you sent a message in the chat about a moderator.
Yes. Dr. Tasha Christian, she was one of the panelists for the ribbon cutting ceremony for the exhibit that we have at the museum. She is a psychologist, I believe, and she's talked a lot about the mental piece. So I think you mentioned something along those lines. So if you like, I can reach out to her to see if she'd be willing to.
So I could invite her to be a panelist. We're only going to have commissioners serve as the
Oh, just
moderators for the
okay.
panel. But if
Okay,
you
I
think she's a good person to speak on this, I'd be more than happy to invite her to the panel to testify as a witness on Friday afternoon. So if you could just share her email address, we'll get an invitation out to her if you think
Not a
she'd be a
problem.
great.
Okay,
Thank
perfect.
you.
I apologize for the confusion there. I thought
No,
you were
it's
looking for
okay.
moderators in general. Okay, no
Yeah.
problem. I will shoot that over to you shortly.
And once you guys let us know as commissioners who's planning to attend, the way it's going to be set up is each panel has around 4 witnesses, and then we're also going to have around 4 commissioners on the stage that'll be able to ask questions of the panelists. And so again, if there's any panel that you have a background where you feel like you would like to be able to ask questions of those witnesses, let us know that as well, because we could look at rotating different commissioners on that panel being on stage. So let us know that. Thank you.
Okay, great. Reverend Tykert, your hand is up. And
Yeah.
then come to Commissioner Barnes.
Yes, thank you. I have a very basic question that's been unclear to me ever since I've been hearing about this hearing, which sounds great. And the question is, who is the audience? Who do you want to see in attendance? Is it other academics? Is it people who are members of our coalitions? Who is it? Is it mainly the legislature who will view it, I assume?
It's opened up to the general public. And so we really want everyone engaged on this, because I see the audience as the people that are going to help us push the legislation through. I think, like, as wonderful as our state legislature is, every elected official needs, some backbone to push big ideas through. And so I see our audience as members of the public that are invested in this type of reconciliation, that are going to be the people calling their state representatives and writing letters and showing up to hearings and all of those things. But it's everyone. It's the academics. If the state legislatures are not able to be in attendance because they're in session, so they're the one people that won't be in our audience. It's the media, right? If the media can tell this story and broadcast what we're doing, I think the audience is as big and as broad as it could be. And I'll turn to Amy, because I think Amy might also have some thoughts on that.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think it is open to the public. That has always been our consistent message. We want representation across all sort of factions of the public, be it legislator, community members, coalition members, professionals, academics. We really want to see those folks in the audience, both in-site and virtual. We're hoping to collect additional testimony or reflections on what it means to have reconciliation. What does it mean to have reparations? So we're hoping to have that opportunity sort of in the lobby space to continue to generate and collect ideas. And we want that across different, again, constituencies. So I think your question, Diane, is excellent, but I think the answer is everyone, which might make it hard to, who are we then marketing it to use sort of plain language. And it's hard to market it to everyone, but it is everyone.
And for all of us that served as community liaisons to the different counties, once we have that flyer, please do share it with all of our community partners and encourage them to attend either in person or virtually. We have the virtual option. I've shared it with my counties already, but please do that, because I feel like this is almost like a culmination of our past 2 years of work. Or not necessarily culmination, because that will be the report, but a very important next step.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Barnes.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Sorry for my tardiness. I was stuck in another meeting, but will you be sending out a kind of an outline of what's going to be taking place on each day? It's Friday and Saturday, right?
Yeah, it's Friday, April 4th and 5th. We're working on one. We have a new amazing intern. I'm not sure if she's on the call right now. Shakila, I don't see her name, but she is putting together a program for us. And as soon as that is final, we'll share that with everyone. And so you can also send that out as advertising materials. We already have a press release. So hopefully that I'm not sure if the press release has been circulated to the commissioners, but hopefully we can circulate that. So you just have another thing along with the flyer that you can share.
So I also want to encourage each institution represented, like Reginald F. Lewis, Morgan State, Bowie State, Coppin, to send it out through all of your channels, not just your coalitions that you represented, because you're also representing those institutions. So, for example, as representing Lily Carroll Jackson Museum, we send out newsletters, but we can also send out other notices. So we'll send that out to all of our people, and we can have a link to this press release as well as this flyer. Because as you said, this is a culmination, not the last 2 years, it's been longer than that. I think
Years.
it's been 4 or 5 years.
6.
6 years. Wow.
Years.
Okay.
2019.
Wow. So, okay. So, we need to let everybody know what we've been doing and dedicated all of this time to on a monthly basis and more than that even. And hopefully we can get a good full audience and a lot of support from all these larger institutions. So whatever channels within your university, I'll send it out through the College of Liberal Arts and ask them to send it and all of that. So I just wanted to encourage everyone to do that.
Excellent. Thank you so much for saying that.
Yes, I second that. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Fisher Hickman. Okay. Other questions or comments about the hearing? Otherwise, we can move on to logistics.
Sure. The Logistics Committee last met in January, and I provided that update at the February business meeting. Our next meeting a week from today, March 17th at 3 p.m. But the focus is really on the April 4th and 5th public hearing that we've been discussing and the many moving parts. So, for example, I'm now joining Trish tomorrow at the Lewis Museum. And Commissioner Parker, we might see you there. And to sort of walk through and get, the layout and figure out logistically what's occurring in that space. Registration, ASL, Maryland State Police, all the things that we're used to having in place at the county-based hearings, and so translating that into this larger 2-day hearing. In addition, we've reached out to coalitions who we've partnered with over the last several years and asked individuals if they'd be willing to volunteer their time for, an hour or two on the April 4th and 5th hearing, because to help with registration, for example, check-in day of and door ushers, so we can manage the flow of folks. We normally rely on our local partners to do that. And we don't have that in this instance. So I think I don't have my list up. So we've created a schedule. We're filling in names, and we might do another round of ask of volunteers. We're hoping to get, geographic representation. So we have somebody from Allegheny County coming, and we have somebody from Kent County coming, and all the way in between. So it's really great. That's a high level update. Everything is in process. If you ask me tomorrow, we'll have a different update. So if you want to come to our March 17th logistics meeting at 3, we're going to review it and look for any gaps that we we might have, which I'm sure there's more than one. I don't know if Trish has anything that you want to add as well without getting too much in the weeds.
I know, don't want to get too much in the weeds. Amy pretty much covered most of all the things. We will be again visiting the Lewis Museum tomorrow. Michelle, I'll be sure to loop you into that as well so that you're able to add anything that you're envisioning for the space. We're going to still be working very closely with our event stream team, who is going to allow for this to be accessible to our, I guess you can say, our virtual participants. We're also anticipating that we will have one day for speakers to be able to participate virtually on Saturday. And similar to what Amy is mentioning, if you all do know of any volunteers who are going to be available or would just like to help, this is going to be the last hearing for you all. You all have been doing a really great job with your regional hearings, so we're really just wanting to run this home. So please feel free to reach out to myself or Amy if you all do know of any folks that will be available on either Friday or Saturday. Thank you.
Hey, are there questions or comments for the logistics committee? Okay, hearing none, let's move on to the research committee and Commissioner Haley.
We did not meet. Thank you for that. Concludes my report.
All right, a nice succinct report there.
Nice. I'm sure Brett and Donna will definitely let us know if there's anything else they come up with, or if Dr. Coles has any other questions. Then please feel free to contact me or Hannah or Emily or David Armenti or Heritage Associates writ large, and we will supply you with whatever answers we can.
Dr. Fisher-Hickman has a very good question. Can we use students as volunteers for the last hearing at the Lewis Museum?
Yes, Holly, if you could reach out to me and we can talk about that. We may be using, we're hoping to use student volunteers from Loyola and Morgan on the class that our chair is co-teaching. And our request of them is to actually be the ones who are sort of collecting the testimony, more spontaneous testimony. But we can use more folks with registration, etc. Hope that helps.
Okay. All right. Other questions for any of the committee chairs or about the reports? Okay. Yes, there will be time for public comment on both days. Okay. Anything else? All right, I guess the next thing on the agenda, the final report update, and we had a meeting, was it 2 weeks ago now, or a week and a half ago, with the 3 PV team, Dr. Janice View and Leah Barnes. Hope I got that right. But anyway, just kind of looking at the current political situation and how that may affect the grant that we have from the Emmett Till cold case, which is sponsored through the Department of Justice. So we figured, in an effort to make sure that we can get things done and get 3PV paid, while we have access to the funding, we sort of tightened up the schedule of deliverables. So we're hoping to have the first part of the report, the case studies of the 38 known documented cases. We want to have all of that done by the end of June. have the second part with the recommendations for reparations done by September, a full draft done by October, and then, getting the final draft to the Office of the Attorney General by the beginning of November so they can do the things that they need to do statutorily to make sure that everything gets where it's supposed to go, and ideally have the final report to the General Assembly by December 1. So that's where that is. And Commissioner Hughes, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I can't think of anything worse than writing a report like this by committee. But at the same time, I'm just wondering, is there going to be any opportunity for the commission to review drafts to make comments, or how?
Yes, that is my hope. Ideally, if we can make this all happen as we start getting case studies in, I would like to get those up in Google Docs so that everybody on the commission can look at them, so that our partners in the coalitions and across the state can look at that and review it, particularly since they're the ones who are going to have the local expertise and knowledge and would be able to, contribute, substantial feedback. But yeah, that is my hope, is that, we'll be making that generally available for people to review and provide comments and feedback. Other thoughts, questions, comments, criticisms? Okay. Hearing none, seeing none, I guess we can move on to new business. And yeah, preparations for the hearing. I think we've kind of discussed that. And it turns out, we're not going to need to go into executive session because we don't need to discuss, issuing subpoenas for the Baltimore Sun because they've decided to send somebody to speak on behalf of the institution. I think that's going to raise some very interesting circumstances, given who they're sending. And yeah, so I don't know if we want to discuss that. Commissioner Haley, your hand is up.
I literally Googled when I saw the name. I thought,
Yep.
Armstrong Williams? Is that
Yep.
Armstrong? And it is that Armstrong Williams. So now I just looked at some list of some of the different articles or blogs that he's been posting lately. So I thought maybe he's trying to do a more moderate tone of late or something. Or I mean, it would be a very interesting, because one is saying there was a Black History Month event at the White House, and unfortunately, I'm not showing my Baltimore Sun account right now for the archives. I don't remember it. And I thought, well, what did that entail? And I've heard talk of a Black History Garden that's going to be built or created somewhere in regards to the White House, and that's something else I think is worth some scrutinizing as to how that's going to be developed and who's going to be on that committee or commission to form that structure when it takes place. But certainly that would be a worthwhile event to to see just what is said and how it's said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I worry about what the response will be, again, as I go back over the apology that they issued, what was it, 2-3 years ago? Yeah, I mean, because my big question is, okay, that's great. What are you doing? What have you done and what are you doing? How are you going to hold yourselves accountable? And given what I've seen of his background and some of the writings that I've been able to come across, I'm not optimistic for a positive response here. But there again, as one of my advisors said, negative knowledge is not the absence of knowledge. So I mean, if they don't want to say anything, that in and of itself says an awful lot. So, yeah, I think it will be a very interesting conversation. Yeah.
It says something that he has agreed, however that was arranged, to appear.
Yes. Commissioner Hughes.
So I was on Capitol Hill last week for Historic Preservation Advocacy Week. You know, we were visiting all our offices, all our delegation offices. And I guess, you know, I mean, I would have concerns about this speaker based on what in terms of how Maryland is. I mean, I just, I would not want this to be an opportunity for this to be sort of a platform to show how to attack the state of Maryland, in a sense, for the work that we're doing, which is so important. This can't be controlled, but I guess we should not. I know we're not naive about this, but I could see this as, I don't know. It makes it really important who sort of the moderator is going to be, I think, to manage the remarks that I think we can expect to be a certain type of remark, honestly, based on the editorials that I read in my local Annapolis paper, which is owned, you know, by that company. And we should be prepared for a response, I think. So we should definitely prepare for how the message is going to be delivered by this speaker, which I don't think will be supportive of this work.
Yes, thank you. Commissioner Haley, and then Commissioner, let me just get the queue up here. And then Commissioner Coles.
Okay, thank you. I was just trying to remember. Did we have former Mayor Kurt Smoke on the list? And if so, I don't recall, did he say he would be or could be? Because I'm trying to think of somebody who could counter the things that Armstrong Williams might, and we don't know, but based on the past, that might say, or even Kwasi Mfume, or just someone that we feel pretty confident would be supportive of this effort if it goes down the path that Commissioner Hughes is certainly suggesting as a possibility.
I would be delighted to invite Kurt Schmoke. He was my law school dean, and I was in touch with him when I was initially looking for interns, since he's the president of University of Baltimore. And so he helped us get our first group of interns. We hadn't invited him. I'm happy to do it. What panel? So Armstrong Williams is on the news and media panel. Would you also put Kurt Schmoke on that panel?
I would move to put somebody strong and of prominence on that panel, frankly, regardless of who it is, because he was a columnist, and does he still have his syndicated show, he being Armstrong Williams? He certainly had a syndicated show for some Armstrong Williams something. I don't remember what the title was or is. So I would think, given that he wasn't always a newspaper owner, he has another background, that I would certainly think that, because the press, maybe now I'm just trying to justify it, the press being something that is outreach, is public facing, a public presentation, certainly a mayor's public presentation, though more political. Kwasi Mfume being a public representative, if we were to have him, just someone of that public facing, someone who states about public policy or social commentary, I feel like would make sense. And again, this is me just justifying it. Makes sense to put someone of equal prominence on a panel such as that. And I know Kurt Smoke too, because I'm on the Annapolis Film Festival board, and so he's also on the Annapolis Film Festival board, and I think he's supposed to be there the end of this month, which is when we're having an event, and I might be on a panel with him then. I'm not exactly sure.
I'll copy you. I'll put that together, and or actually, I guess the MLT, you'll be the one sending it out through the MLTRC.
Yeah.
So we'll send it to you, and yeah, so hopefully he'll be able to join us.
Okay.
I don't know Kwame Mfume. I don't know if someone does, if we want to do that outreach as well.
Yeah, and here again, I mean, my thoughts are, yeah, he's going to be, very well a discordant voice, and let him come. I think there will be enough people, whether on that panel directly or over the course of the 2 days, who are going to be able to respond to, any discordant thoughts or ideas he might bring.
So just wondering, I mean, he's not going to be pro lynching. Is he?
We can
Is
hope.
Is he? Do you think his sentiment is like, let sleeping dogs lie? The past is the past. Is that the sentiment we think he might come with? There's no justice owed for past, crimes and injustices.
Yeah, I think that may well be where he's coming. It's like, yeah, what do we need to do? I mean, this is, it's almost 100 years. What are we talking about this for?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Commissioner Millen and then Commissioner Hughes.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like if he is on a press and media panel, then there ought to be somebody who works in that space. That would be the counter perspective. And if we could look outside of Maryland, if we want to find a strong voice, then, let's think about like the New York Times. Let's think about, I don't know, Nicole Hannah-Jones, who wrote the 1619 Project, who very clearly states that this is not something that lives in the past. This is something that we're working with today.
Mhm.
Not necessarily lynching. I get that, but I'm talking about the through line of history and ongoing racism, discrimination, racial terror, violence generally. Okay, pipe sky in the pie, whatever the expression is, Ava DuVernay. This is something, she also is a very strong voice who talks about how the history is impacting us today. This would be, I imagine, I don't know her, right up her alley. I don't know how we get to her, but I just think that
we did invite her.
No, we didn't invite Ava. We invited Nicole Hannah-Jones.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say Nicole Hannah-Jones is who I thought you were talking about.
And Clint Smith.
I feel like we need to have the media be a counterpoint, working in that same space. Otherwise, the panel should probably be reconfigured and renamed. So that's just my.
Yeah.
And I know that there's Maryland news reporters who could also offer it, but we just need to go.
Yeah. And again, Kristen McFarland asked, did we invite former Commissioner Deneen Brown? I know I think I had put her name on the list of folks to consider, but I don't know if we got an invitation out to her or not.
No, if folks could provide an email address for any of these, like, it would be better to get these suggestions over email, because once this meeting ends, I'm going to lose the whole chat. So, if folks could email names and include email addresses, then we could get an invitation out today or tomorrow. But
okay.
Yeah,
All
Anna DeVere Smith would be awesome.
Oh,
David
yes.
DeVerne would be amazing. So yeah, this is great. This is outside my area of expertise. And so, all the help we can get on making this panel strong would be appreciated.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Baker, your hand was up.
You're like me in meetings with my staff. They put their hand down and I still make them speak. So there's a little bit of payback. Thank you. I was thinking of a suggestion, but I heard that email's best. I'll float it just in case. Delonte, who has covered a lot of I think more than one of our hearings, might be someone local, good for the panel, although I don't know if he carries the same weight that you all are considering. I'm not good at that part of it. But he's been very supportive and been at I think 2 of the hearings now that I've seen him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Could you say that name one more time? I missed it.
Sorry, I'm in the car. I want to say his last name's Howard, but his first name is definitely Delonte.
Commissioner Michelle, I can send over his contact information to you if it's helpful.
No, I think I know what she's talking about. Didn't he interview me? Is he in the Southern counties?
Yes, he did,
Yes.
and I think he probably
Yes.
did interview.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And there was something. Oh, I was going to say, perhaps, is there anybody at the Baltimore Banner? Because my understanding is that that was started by a whole bunch of Baltimore Sun refugees. And so that might be a good source of, I don't want to say oppositional testimony, but, somebody who could perhaps counter, some of what Armstrong Williams might have to say. Okay. All right.
Does anyone know anyone specific at the Baltimore Banner that we could consider?
John Williams. He's the diversity, equity, and inclusion reporter at the Banner.
And Rick Hutzel used to be the editor of the Capitol, but left after, I guess, after the horrible shooting, and he left after that. And then he became one of the, I don't know if he's one of the founders of the Banner, but that's one of the main ones that he's working from now. And he's come to at least one, if not two, of our hearings. So I know I talked to him at one of them.
And actually, I think, yeah, I'm sorry, Chris.
No, that's it. I'm just blabbering this
Right
out when I remember where he was.
It seems like we would want to get the editor or owners of the Banner, right? John Williams is his writing is supportive of all of this type of work, but again, he's the reporter. If we're dodging the reporters at the Baltimore Sun, then we should elevate it to the owners of the Banner, owners of other newspapers, again, to offer the more 360 set of opinions.
Yes, Commissioner Hughes.
Is a journalism professor someone who could be considered, or you're really looking for someone who's in the, I can't think of someone, but it seems like that is maybe another option. If we can't run down someone who is a journalist presently that is of the caliber we need.
So we already have 2 journalist professors on the panel. So that's the current composition is Stacy Patton and E.R. Shipp. They're both journalist professors at Morgan State. And then we have the head of the Afro-American newspaper, Tony Draper, and Armstrong Williams of the Baltimore Sun. So it would be, if we could get the head of the Baltimore Banner, we could put that invitation together.
Okay. As I'm thinking about it, 2 professors from Morgan and Tony Draper from the Afro, I think that will more than balance out anything Armstrong Williams might have to say. But here again, if we want to, get somebody else on there, I have no problems with that.
Did anyone invite Dr. K, Wise Whitehead?
Great idea. Great idea.
Who is that?
Dr. K. She has a daily radio show on WEAA, and she has the Carson Center at Loyola. Dr. K. Wise Whitehead. Show is called Today with Dr. K.
Can you put that in the chat?
Okay.
Okay. Right.
I'll email you her contact information.
Okay. Commissioner Hughes, did I get to you because I saw your hand up was before? So yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm good. I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Okay, it's fine. Yes. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying no good deed goes unpunished. So now that Dr. Coles, you got the Baltimore Sun to react. Now, well, okay, well, since you got that guy, now we're like trying to figure out all these type of things that we can do to counterbalance.
Yeah. And all these names that we're putting out there, let's make sure they're also on the media contact list, whether or not they testify. We want to make sure that they know about this hearing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, as I say, be careful what you wish for, because we got him. We didn't have to issue a subpoena, and so yeah, I guess now it's a good problem to have. Commissioner Baker.
Sorry, I heard Commissioner Cole say make sure they're on the media contact list. And as the person who's currently getting someone to push it all out to media, but is also driving right now, I just want to ask if Trish or someone else, if there's anyone that is new to our media contact list, can you send it to me? Because I'm not able to capture it. I'm on the way to a meeting.
Yeah, if I can definitely assist with that. If anyone wants to add the information to the chat, well, actually, I see it here. I will get it added. But if you have a direct email, you can also send that over to me and I can get it added as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish.
Thank
No
you.
problem. Drive safe.
Yes, please be safe. I know it's still technically winter over there. Other thoughts, ideas? Okay, great. Another one, Deanna Neal. Okay. Oh, yay! This is with contact information. Thank you, Commissioner Dupree Wilson. Yeah, we got some good stuff happening here. This is wonderful. Yeah, I think we'll definitely be able to beef up that panel a little bit. Other thoughts or ideas before we move on to announcements? Okay, does anybody have announcements that they would like to share? WYPR, yes, that would be another good one. Nobody's got anything going on? Not for Women's History Month or anything? Yes, Commissioner Dupree Wilson.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm running between classes. I have two announcements. First, if anyone knows of graduate students who are interested in radio, please have them contact me because I'm advisory board member for the HBCU Radio Preservation Project, and we're trying to look for interns. This is a paid internship. So yeah. And also there is a women's conference here at Coppin State University. I'll put the information in the chat. It will be on the last Friday of this month, but you don't have to be a woman to attend. It's a women's appreciation. So they won't come after. I'm sorry. Yes, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Other announcements or additional announcements? Okay. Hearing none, seeing none. Okay, and let me just get that link. Great. All right. Then I guess I will, before moving to adjourn, say thank you all for taking the time for being here. And particularly, I just want to again call out Trish. Thank you for all of the work you're doing to support the work of the commission. Thank you to the folks in the Attorney General's office, Kristen and Sophie, and although she's not with us today, Zanita. You've made it possible for us to get the Baltimore Sun here without having to issue a subpoena. So thank you for your counsel. I really do appreciate it. And yes, thank you all for all the work that you do and for helping to bring us this far along the way. And so with that, I will say I will see you all in Baltimore on April 4th and 5th, if not before. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second? Somebody want, everyone
I
wants to stick around?
second.
Okay, thank you. I was gonna say. All right, all those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
anybody opposed, wants to stick around a little more? Okay, well, have a wonderful week. And yes, I will see you all in Baltimore in April. So
Hey,
yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Amy, Chris, can a couple folks just stick around? Doesn't have to be everyone, but just kind of the reconciliation folks, whoever wants to stick around. I'd like to just kind of, a lot of names just got thrown at us, and I want to talk that through because we definitely can't invite all those people.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
Hannah, do you want to stop recording if they're going to have a chat?
Yeah, I'll stop the recording. Thanks, Trish.
No problem. Thank you, Hannah.
Great, thank you.
I would err on the side of still recording.
Oh.
You may not have a quorum, but I just don't want to give the sense that we're trying to avoid a discussion in an open meeting.
Okay.
Thank
The
you.
recording will keep going. Chris, would you like me to stay in or shall I pop out? Oh, you're muted. I'm so sorry.
You don't have to. I think I've got it still working right now. It's because I have a sign that says stop recording, so obviously that means it's recording. Yeah. So I don't know. These things work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay around.
Stick around, you're part of the family.
But you can stick
Hey,
around if
Hannah.
you want to.
Yeah. If you have time, Hannah, if you're able to stick around, could you, if you
Yeah,
have
I'll
other stuff
stay
to
in.
do?
No, that's
Okay.
all good.
Okay. Just because we'll probably have some quick turnarounds on invites. And so I just want to make sure that you guys are available to help with that. Did Kayla happen to stick around?
I think she left.
Okay, she left. Okay. All right. Okay, so just got a whole lot of names. I tried to copy and paste the chat to, have a record of it. I'm thinking we can't invite a lot of new people to the hearing. It's pretty full already. But if we want to kind of strengthen that news media panel based on the names I heard, I thought the former commissioner sounded really good. Deneen Brown. We know she's going to be on message, and then also I thought the CEO of the Baltimore Banner made a lot of sense. So those would be the two I would think of inviting. But we could also think of inviting Kurt Schmoke. The Community Perspectives panel is a little light right now, so maybe we could ask Kurt Schmoke to be on the Community Perspectives panel. A lot of the names of reporters that were thrown out there, I think the best place for them is the media contact list instead of panelists. So just wanted to make sure you guys thought the same. And so I think those are the only 3 invites I'm looking at right now, unless someone feels strongly about another name that was thrown out there.
Can you, and I'm sorry, Michelle, can you clarify or confirm that the Afro is invited and they're on a panel?
Yeah, they're on that panel.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and we invited Nicole Hannah Jones. She checked her schedule. It seemed like she was really trying to come, but she has a conflict, so she was out. And we also had invited Clint Smith for that panel. Thought he would give a really interesting perspective. He was unavailable. So right now we have 4 panelists. 2 are professors. 1 is the Afro, and 1 is Armstrong Williams. And so we'll try to get one more voice. Okay. But of all the other names that were put out there, is there another one that people think we need to really try to get at this hearing?
Sorry, that's my dog. I mean, do we want somebody more nationally? Do we want somebody from the New York Times or the Chicago's changed too? Washington Post is no longer the Washington Post. I mean, somebody that represents more national. So we have the local and the national.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a name,
I'm good with ideas, not with
Right.
names.
Yeah, we're at the stage where we need the practical, like, this is the name, this is the email address. Also, I know this person and I know they would love to do it. That would be ideal. We're 3 weeks out. And so, we're past the brainstorming stage. So we just need to get to the concrete action stage. So if someone has that information, I'm happy to help execute it.
Hey, Michelle, did you get my email? I sent
Yes.
over the information. I just want to make certain that you received it.
Yes.
As it relates to, I think there was a particular panel that you wanted the psychologist or the mental health person for.
Yes,
So
you
that was
Atasha
Christian.
Atasha Christian.
Yes.
Yes. And that would be the 4th panel on the 4th, on April 4th. And we also just got an acceptance from Gail Christopher, who's a big deal in this space. And so, so I can look at Atasha Christian as well. Thank you for forwarding that.
And if you need any help facilitating that connection, just let us know or let me know. Again, she spoke at the ribbon cutting for the exhibit, and I felt like she was very impactful and profound in her words. So, and so, again, if let her know that we're recommending that she be a part of this conversation on that day, as a part of your ask.
Thank you. We'll
No problem.
absolutely do that. Sorry for the noise. And hopefully we'll try to copy you on that email if the
That's
person
perfect.
remembers to do that. If they don't, then I'll forward it to you in case you want to follow up.
Not a problem. And I will be in the office tomorrow to see you guys at 10. So I'm going to hop off now. If my
Robert,
yes, sir.
I'm sorry, before you go. So would you be able to contact, I thought Wanda Draper was still the big boss there, but I'm looking online, it says she's retired now. Which,
Oh, yes.
right.
She's been
Like way retired.
Yeah, way retired. Is Kimberly
okay.
Freeman is our current president.
That's right. Kimberly
Do
Freeman,
you
right.
want, I can make certain that she's there that day. I don't know if she has anything on her calendar, but in terms of having the president at this particular meeting, I will put this on her radar today.
Because she certainly had a large media presence and platform here in the DMV, and I think that she would be a good get if we could do that.
Now, in terms of a panel or just to bring greetings.
What do you think, Michelle?
Who are we talking about right now?
Wanda Draper.
No, I'm sorry.
I meant Wanda Draper. Oh, you don't. Okay.
I don't have an entree to Wanda Draper. I'm thinking of the Lewis Museum's president. If you want her to be a part of the greetings or the welcome or just to say something on behalf of the institution,
that would be great.
I can speak to her for that piece. Wanda Draper, I think if she's the president of at the Afro, correct? No.
Tony Draper is the president of the Afro, and she's testifying on the media panel already. Are you talking about her or someone else?
No, I'm talking about Wanda Draper, who I thought was the head of the Lewis Museum for a point, and also had was it a TV show or something in the area of the WBAL TV for 25 years. She was director of programming and public affairs.
Yes, unfortunately, she's no longer our president. Terry Lee Freeman's been our president since 21.
Gotcha.
She was here though. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
That's
Dr. Holly Fisher Hickman is correct. She was our former president, but Terry Lee Freeman is our current.
Okay. I was mentioning Wanda Draper because she had also a media presence.
Okay.
Okay, but we would love to have welcoming remarks from Ms. Freeman. So I'll add that to the agenda. I don't know if she's able to be there Friday and Saturday, but if she is, or just let us know which day she's available.
I would surmise that she's available on the Friday, of course, since it's a normal business day for us. But I'll see what she's available to do on Saturday. I don't know if you want both days. I can ask for both days that she, be present. I know that she was present at there was a conference that happened shortly after the exhibit opening. She was there all day on that Saturday. So I'll see if she's available.
Probably at this point, it's good just to sort of keep Michelle and Nick to keep collecting some of these names, and then to go back and really think about, because this is really go back and think about what spaces are available and the time, and not necessarily say in this meeting right now that you're committing to certain folks. I'm really cognizant of the timing. It's a tight program. There's a lot of things, and we don't want to like lose our mission. We don't have mission drip for the commission. So I just, maybe this meeting we're not saying we're going to send out letters of invite to all of these folks, but that we're collecting them, and then the two of you will go back and reconsider and think about what would be best. That's my recommendation right now, instead of making decisions on the fly.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that. I was really just thinking in terms of where we have gaps, because we invited a lot of people, we got a lot of acceptances, but some panels are lighter than others. And so we did have a gap in the news media one, I think a perspective gap. We have a gap in the community perspectives day 2 panel, and the social and mental health panel is just now kind of taking shape. So definitely don't have space for any more general reparations experts, legal experts like we filled in law enforcement. I think those areas are good, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. Okay, that might be all I have. But yeah, I do want us to try to turn around those invites like today or tomorrow. Is that it, Hannah? Are you available if we send you the invites? Is that something you can turn around?
Yep.
Okay.
And Michelle, I just wanted to flag that for the food trucks, we are soliciting food trucks. We have not RSVP'd any food trucks yet. I know that you're going to be going into an interview tomorrow with Nick. I just wanted to give you that transparency so that you're not communicating that we have confirmed food trucks. We are not currently soliciting them, and saying that some food trucks may have a deposit, and knowing, being aware of our budgetary restrictions right now. We definitely are soliciting. No one has RSVP yet, but we are reaching out. We, meaning me, reaching out to food trucks. So I just wanted to put that on your radar as well.
Okay, that sounds good.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. Anything else?
One other question. Did you all need me to join that interview tomorrow? I know that I'll be at the Lewis Museum with Amy. I just wanted to see if you all needed me to join for any reason.
Let me see here. That's wait. Why don't I have that on my calendar? I thought. Yeah, eek. Why is that? I thought I had this on my calendar. What time are we doing this?
Let me look at my calendar. It's either 3 or 3:30.
Okay.
It's tomorrow at 3.
Yeah, because I put it for next Tuesday. Good Lord.
Oh, I'm glad we're talking
Yeah.
about this.
Thank you. Yes, let me fix that.
Okay, and I think it'll be good, Nick, if you just go ahead and send over the Zoom link if you haven't, because I think she was wanting to have a phone conversation with both. Maybe she assumed you all were both in the same office or something.
Okay.
But probably just sending the Zoom link would probably be best.
Okay, I will do that. Let me see.
This is just about you, Nick, and you, Michelle, right? Because I just want to,
Yeah.
Okay, make sure it wasn't something else.
It's like a pre-interview prior to the institutional hearing. But she'll also be there at the institutional hearing as well for both days.
Okay, fantastic. All right,
Hey,
I
wait,
will.
one more thing. Chris or Amy, did either of you guys want to moderate any of the panels?
I can look at them again and see well, I can certainly do one or the other. Just double check which ones those are that are up to wrestle for.
I would say the main ones would be the social and emotional, like kind of mental health psychology type one. Also the community perspectives one. I think those are the two biggest ones we need to have a moderator for.
Well, I think Amy and I could either talk about it or flip a coin or whatever, and let you know very soon. I know, because it's. Are we trying to put a program out pretty soon? Obviously, we are. But
Yep, yeah. Program's pretty much the first draft of the program's pretty much done, so we'll share that. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, and then at some point we'll also want to figure out which commissioners we're going to have at each panel to ask questions. that we've got a little more time on, but that's another something to keep in mind.
Then Amy and I will talk and we'll get back to you with the specific answer.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, that's what I was leaning on. Was the response.
No later than the end of the week. So we'll give a deadline. No later than the end of the week. Does
Okay.
that work for you, Michelle?
Is the chair, I know he's on, but busy. Chair, are you still busy or are you listening now?
I think he was driving, so I wasn't, or somewhere where he
Okay.
couldn't actually communicate.
Okay. Because we need to nail down. I know he mentioned doing something with his mom, like the drum circle or singing. And so we just need to nail that down into the run a show as well. So yeah. All right, we're almost there.
All right, well, again, thank you for all of the diligent work that you're doing to put this all together. I'll definitely buy you a beer.
I'm a
For
wine
your
girl.
drinking choice. Okay.
Thank you. All right, I gotta run. Talk to you guys later.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Is that it? Okay.
Thank you, everyone. And again, thank you for taking the extra time. I do appreciate you.
All right. Thank you all.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a great week.
You too.